Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hello, Louis. How are you doing? All right. So today we're gonna do a ranking of quotes. I've never done something like that, and yeah, I'm excited because it will be very, I think, helpful for us to just think about the messaging on social media, the things we share and the things we make. And also, I just want to preface this real quick by saying that a lot of the quotes I'm going to be reviewing and critiquing are quotes that I have shared myself and that I agreed with at some point. And of course, this is my opinion. Feel free in the chat to let me know what you think about my critique and what you think about the quotes I'm critiquing, and like sorry, where you would rank them. Um, yeah. Hello, Carrie. So I want to show you. This is kind of the thing I made. Let me explain to you what this means. So, all right, let me just make myself smaller. Okay, so the reason why I chose end result of the Earth for like the category of the things I prefer the most and that I think are really great quotes is because let me show you. If you do not know him, this is Henry Salt. So it was basically someone who was a vegetarian because like before the 40s there wasn't the name vegan, so we don't really know exactly when someone says they're vegetarian. Before this time you don't really know what they mean, but they could be like rejecting all animal exploitation, or they could just be dietary vegetarians, let's say. He made this book, Animal Rights Considered in Relation to Social Progress, in 1892, and is considered to be the first essay on animal rights. And he inspired Gandhi to be vegetarian, stuff like that. Of course, veganism and vegetarianism are very different, but I've already explained this is why it's a little tricky. So I just wanted to show you that this guy is pretty freaking awesome. I actually read that book, and I read it for LibriVox, which is like it's a volunteer, like people that are volunteering to read books out loud so that people can access audiobooks that are free from books that are in the public domain. And I did that. If you are interested in this book, I recommend reading it. You can search it on Google, and it's in the description below. Like, my version is this one, and if you have a problem with my accent, which I totally understand, there's another person who made another version, and they're both in the description. Anyhow, I just wanted to let you know what the hell I was talking about. So, hello, Martin. Hello, animals are here for us. No, are here with us, not for us. um, Glad to see you guys here. So, this is why Henry Salt of the Earth is the best category, because he is one of the pioneers, and he was really cool. And his essay is very much a vegan essay. Um, and it's not necessarily an international intersectional essay as we um an intersectional essay as we might think of it today. He was kind of easing us into it, let's say. So whatever. So the first category is this, and then the one below that's like need more of that salt but works is going to be for quotes that they are good, but they are not the best way to put it. Like, I wouldn't put it that way and stuff like that. And then this tier will be problematic, almost works. So they're like, it's not put in the best way, but that's a real problem actually in that case. So I would, at this point, I wouldn't share it. Like these, I wouldn't share the quotes in here, and here I wouldn't share. I would actually share. Sorry, man. Today my head is weird. Sorry about that. And the last tier is get out of my house right now, because I would just not use these quotes ever. And I think they're really, really not good for the animals, the movement, etc. I think they're really not to use. So, all right. Are we ready, guys? I am ready. Hello, Pigs of Dream. Okay, so first quote is okay. Let me know which one is better. I think this one is better. Anyways, we're starting with You have other food. I haven't another life. Go vegan. Okay. The problem with this one is that it's obviously focused on the food aspect. So it's. I think when you're talking about like the messaging on your activism, I think being as accurate as possible is important because you don't want people to associate veganism with a diet anymore that they already do, which most people really think veganism is just a diet like vegetarianism. Um, you want to drive home the fact that it's like against the use of other animals for humans' benefit, and it can be in any way you could imagine, like experimenting on them or writing them, things like that. So I wouldn't go there just for that. I have another life. Yeah, I get it as well, but like I wouldn't even go for that because I would just not want people to go with like the murder thing instead of the use, because it's not like most of the animals exploited are exploited in the food industry, but it's not like that's what veganism is about. It's not like veganism is not talking about murder necessarily, because for example, like you could say, if veganism was about murder, then you would have to be not walking on grass so that you wouldn't kill insects. I personally avoid that, but either way, like we're not saying vegans are for animal murder, but it's not really what the focus of the stance of veganism is, for very good reasons, because otherwise it's not an achievable world. There's always going to be, you know, accidental murder or murder because you got to defend yourself, stuff like that, whatever. And again, it's just one portion of the exploitation of other animals. So why focus on that? So I would just say, because there's this connotation of let me know if the clicking annoys you guys, by the way. Because I have a mouse. I would just yeah, I get it, 'cause it could be about the experience, but I would just not go for that, and I would just say it's my body or something like that. So hmm, I would put it in problematic. Almost works. Yeah, veganism is about preferences. It's about fairness. Exactly. Yeah. Um, Murder is a legal term meaning unjustified killing. Yeah, yeah. That's why that can be a problem, because it's like, is it achievable? Like, I'm thinking about the small animals. Um, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Whatever. It's I don't know. I'm just trying to keep it as accurate as possible. But okay, next one is kind of hard to read. I know I have an obligation to talk about their suffering and to do something about their suffering. Oh my God, to be an activist, to make a statement, to make a difference. Well, that's beautiful. But the only problem I have with this is that it's focused on the suffering. I totally understand the sentiment, totally get it. But I would just replace it with slavery because it's just as powerful to me. Um, and I would, slavery, exploitation, like commodification. So I would, So this one I don't know. Like I wouldn't share it just because of the suffering part, because I don't want people to be focusing on the suffering aspect. Because then what about backyard hens, or like people who say, well, there it's humane, whatever. Like, so they go directly to the humane thing. I don't want them to go there. So I don't want to justify this, like, then like kind of yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of justifying this thing of there's a humane way to use another animal. So I wouldn't use it. Even if it's powerful, because it is beautiful, like it's true, like you have to do something. I'm sorry guys, you can't really see what it says. That's kind of the website is kind of hard with quotes, but I would say I wouldn't share it myself, but I would say it almost works, and it can be powerful. It can be very powerful if you replace the suffering part. Not saying, of course, that suffering does not matter. The suffering of these victims matters a lot, obviously, but we don't want to exclude the other victims that are not considered to be suffering by the oppressor. So, um, okay. My hunter buddy tells me, "Don't worry, when I hunt, I use every part of the animal." You know who else uses every part of the animal? The animal. I really like that. I really, really like that. Actually, this one is a little grave for me. I guess not. I mean, no, I really like it. I really like it. So I would say it needs more of that salt, but works. Like it's almost like there's something about it that bothers me, but I can't really put my finger on it. Um, yeah, it's just that when they are dead, for example, like if they would be finding the animal dead, then would it make it okay? That maybe that's why I'm feeling confused about it. But I think it's good. It's funny too because it's like duh. Jeffrey Dahmer, Louis says Jeffrey Dahmer uses the entire human animal. Exactly. Hello, Renzo. Thanks for being here, guys. Okay. So next one is I like animals. Okay, maybe I can just zoom in on it. Oh, thank God. Okay. I like animals, all animals. I wouldn't hurt a cat or dog or a chicken or a cow, and I wouldn't ask someone else to hurt them for me. That's why I am a vegan. Okay, so this guy, by the way, I think came out as a non-vegan now, so that is actually exactly exemplifying what I was about to say, and I just remembered that he is exactly who I'm talking about. So I've had conversations with other people about how we should not. I mean, they were having a conversation with me because I was sharing celebrity quotes who were vegan, and then they told me like, I think it's a very bad idea because then they often go non-vegan because they're selfish assholes. A lot of the time, people are just very selfish, and so they give in to peer pressure or whatever, or it's not trendy anymore, and so it's very dangerous, obviously, to bet on a celebrity, and of course, it's dangerous to bet on anyone because most people, like a lot of people, are just super selfish and just will go back to exploiting other animals. So I would okay, so it's kind of tricky because I don't know what you think about that, guys, but I like to share quotes. Like, I just don't want to share quotes just based on the person who said it. You know what I mean? Celebrities, I don't do it anymore because it's obvious to me that people will just like, they will listen to it kind of because it's just a celebrity and it's kind of, I don't know, it's too dangerous. I understand that. But if it's someone who's like, not as known, I don't know, like, or I don't know. Maybe I think something that could be good. For example, if it's Peter Singer who said it, or someone like that that I don't agree with on very important things, and that I think they are hurting the movement. I don't want to kind of give them like my endorsement by sharing a quote from them, but sometimes the quotes are really good and I agree completely with them. So I think the trick would be just to rephrase it in a way that's not exactly the same, kind of adding your own touch to it, and then you share it as just what you said, you know, but changing it so that it's not stealing. I think that could be it. I know I might be overthinking it, but I don't think I am. I think it was a good point that was brought that to my attention. That was brought to my attention. Okay, so I like animals, all animals. Okay, fair enough that you do, but I think if we're sharing that as vegan activists, we're sharing that for people to be swayed, kind of. We don't want people to think that you are vegan because you like all of other animals. Like it's not about that. It's not like you have to like a certain person to respect them and not exploit their bodies and not enslave them. Like it has nothing to do with that. It's just basic decency towards them, and it's not nothing to do about affection. If you hate someone, it does, or if you are indifferent about someone, doesn't give you the right to use their bodies or whatever the hell, use them in any way. So against their will, whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't say that at all. And of course, I know he's sharing his experience, but as a quote, I would just not know. I wouldn't hurt a cat or a dog or a chicken or cow. Okay, fair enough, but I wouldn't say that because it's not necessarily like if you're saying hurt, it's quite a subjective term to people. They think that you are taking care of chickens or cows or whoever you're exploiting by exploiting them because you're giving them food too, just like, oh, I'm taking care of that slave, literally, like by feeding them so that they can work for me, kind of thing. So, yes. Apart from that, can I zoom in more? No, I can't. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I wouldn't say hurt. And because like people are not gonna understand that it's hurting the horse to actually break them in and to ride them, because it hurts their interests of being free and stuff. It might not hurt them physically. It's not about the suffering aspect, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't ask someone else to hurt them for me. That's why I'm a vegan. Okay, so yeah, ugh, I'm not. This one I would not never share in a million years. I think it's just so many problems with the messaging. So where do we put it? Okay. So, yeah, I think uh, is it I don't know. I'm hesitating between this and this. Okay. Let's see again. Okay, I would say problematic. That's generous for me to put that here because I was really not sure about that quote. Um, okay, so, oh my God, I'm gonna try to go for the ones that are like shorter first because it's kind of hard to read them anyways, but okay. Vegan because I'm being the change I wish to see in the world. I love that. I actually love that one. But also, what the only problem I would have with that is that I don't want people to think that it's like being vegan is doing something other than doing what you're morally obligated to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't want people to think that it's like an act, like an optional act. But honestly, like I don't think it's the biggest, it's not super implied. So I would just put it Henry Salt of the Earth. Okay. All right. So David Carter, being vegan is not only the most efficient way to be full body strong, it is also the most humane. Everyone wins. Okay. So when he's saying vegan, he's saying the diet. Which is a problem because we don't want people to just think of veganism as a diet. So I would say because being vegan just means being against the exploitation and slavery of other animals by humans. So I would just say uh, being on an animal-free diet. There you go. Perfect. Or a fully plant-based diet. Um, that would be the perfect way to put it. Honestly, it is also the most humane. Everyone wins. I wouldn't use the word humane at all because, again, like the connotation is like the welfare instead of just not using their bodies like slaves and stuff. Like, yeah. So I would never share that to be honest because of these problems. Um, where would we put it? So I'm hesitating between this and this. Well, you could fix it. You could fix it. But these again, like these two things would never share, but this you could fix, and it's kind of almost there. Um, could you look an animal in the eyes and say to it, "My appetite is more important than your suffering, Moby"? Okay, this one. Okay. Okay. So could you look an animal in the face and say to it again, like already, I mean, not again, I haven't said it yet, but like I would not use it for another animal because, I mean, I know it's used for children as well, but I think it's fucked up. It does something subconsciously. Like, what does that mean? It, like, why are you saying it to another sentient being? It's very strange. And I think it's very harmful, especially coming from us. Like, come on. I understand though if it's hard to remember especially as a native English speaker. I get it, but please try as hard as you can to say, they or she or he, whatever. Appetite is more important than your suffering. So I wouldn't go with appetite because again, it's framing veganism as a diet, and suffering I wouldn't, because again, it's framing it as a welfare thing. Because like, well, does that mean that if they're not suffering, we can enslave? And I mean, suffering in our perception, of course. Does that mean we can enslave them and own their bodies and stuff and use them? No, I don't think so. So I mean, again, like, if I ever put anything in here, it's going to be something that cannot be fixed, I think. But am I being too generous? No, I think this can be fixed, but I would never share it like this. Okay. Um, can you see like this? I love this quote. It's one of my favorite quotes ever. You are personally responsible for becoming more ethical than the society you grew up in. I have it on my fridge. It's so inspiring. I love it so much. I can't see the person. Anyways, who it's kind of pixelated. This one, of course, is going straight up to "and result of the earth." It's beautiful. It's not a vegan quote, but it's kind of an activism or like related kind of. It's kind of related to this. Um, you love this one too, yeah. It's really, really good one. Okay. This is fun. Okay. We must not refuse with our eyes that which they must endure with their bodies. I love that. It's really powerful. Um, I love it, but uh, like, of course, it doesn't mean this is a welfarist thing. It's not, but it's just talking about the experience of the victims, and they do suffer a lot as slaves and stuff. So it's something be worth. Like, it's like saying, like, it's okay. A good comparison to explain to people, sorry, is like, you wouldn't say that it would be okay to enslave other people if, like, it would have been okay to continue slavery if the people were suffering less or weren't suffering. It would be okay to still own them. No, it's not what it's about. But like, when we're talking about the history of slavery, like human slavery, we're talking about the suffering of the victims because that is an important part of their experience and their oppression. But yeah, in that sense, it's very powerful. I love that quote. I would add, like, if you're sharing that, like, I would add something in the description or whatever about how it's not like about the treatment of other animals, but something to make sure that people get it. So I would just, I don't know. I'm okay. This is a close call between "End Result of the Earth" and "Needs More of That Soul But Works," but I'm gonna put it here, just because I would be worried about someone thinking it's about like the treatment. But I do think it's very powerful. Okay, we have someone in chat whose name is this. "Animals are here with us, not for us." I love that quote, of course. The only thing that I would change would be to say "other animals are here with us, not for us," because humans are animals. And I know that it's kind of nitpicky to do it like this, to say that. But like, I think it does something to say, like, "other animals are here with us." It does something to your brains. Like, what do you mean other animals? I think it can be good, or non-human animals, but I don't really like non-human animals as much. Other animals are really good. I like that. So I'm gonna put it. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here, but I would change the other animals thing. It's not so bad that I would put it. You know. Okay. Tofu never screams. Okay. Tofu never screams. I don't really like this anymore. I understand how it can be powerful, But like again, it doesn't have to be. I don't know. I just like to keep things as general as possible when it comes to exploitation, so that they understand that it's all of it that we're against, not just like when it's horrific, in terms of like the treatment and the way they die and stuff. I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, and also it frames it kind of like no, it doesn't say vegan, so it's not like the biggest deal. It's just that when you see tofu, you know that it's like vegans and vegetarians or something. And also it could be about like a vegetarian message. So I don't know. I just wouldn't go for that. Um, but yeah, many animals cannot scream exactly as well. Like fish, for example, even if you're talking just about the flesh industry and like them being murdered, still, Okay. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. I like that. I mean, it's obviously not a vegan quote, but when you're sharing it in that context, I do. But you also, I mean, you don't want people to think that veganism is a set of practices, but you also don't want them to just sit and like be like, I agree, and then not live according to it. So I would put it here. My body will not be a tomb for other creatures. Um, yeah, again, it's just like it's kind of a vegetarian message. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's just about that small form of exploitation. And also, yeah, there's so many things that I don't like about it because like it's focused on you like as well, not them being exploited into whatever. And creatures, I'm being nitpicky, but this is the whole point of this live stream. But I wouldn't say creatures because plants could be creatures, maybe, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. Okay, eat pussy, not animals. This one, I don't know what you feel about that, but this one is get out of my house right now. Heck no, I hate this one. I absolutely hate this quote. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's got so many problems with it. I think. Again, like it's framing it as like a vegetarian thing. Like it's a diet thing. I know this is not like a lot of the intent behind these quotes are very pure, but I just think the messaging is wrong and dangerous. Uh, I mean, it's making it a bit trivial. It's a bit trivializing to me. Like it kind of making it a bit of a joke. Like it's a bit of a joke. Um, yeah. And what about the other forms of animal exploitation? Like we're not vegetarians. I just don't. I don't like this at all. I really don't. Okay, there is no right way to do a wrong thing. I love this quote. It's beautiful. It's very, very helpful when you're talking to people about veganism for them to understand what you're talking about. There is no right way to do the wrong thing. I freaking love that one. 'Cause you can see there's no right way to do the wrong thing, and then you talk about how they're being slaves and stuff. I often put it at the end of my shorts. Very helpful. Love it. It's the worst. It's an awful quote. I hate it. You're so happy. I agree with that. Yeah. It's not. It's not very deep. Like it's not. But yeah. Anyways. Okay. I'm trying to make it pretty, guys, but it's kind of hard because I'm on a website. With ads. Okay. The idea that some lives matter less is the root of all that is wrong with the world. Paul Farmer. What a name for this. um, okay. The problem I have with that is just that lives could be applied to plants. That's the only real problem I have. Otherwise, it can be really powerful. It's just that I think you could turn it into like the idea that some animals matter less um, than others, like humans. Make it clear that you're talking about humans and non-humans, animals. Is the root of all that is wrong with the world. I mean, and yeah, and it wouldn't really work like like because you want to include also like the human oppression so that people understand the comparison. But um I don't know if you could fix that in that way. I think it would be so powerful. But it is a beautiful thought, but it's just that I think it could be done better in a way that's not dangerous and not it's not dangerous, it's just it could backfire in a dumb way. uh, it's a sexist quote and derogatory. I don't know if I agree with that. If it's derogatory to women, I don't feel like it's sexist. To me, it's not like that's not why. I just think it's gross. And also I didn't say that, but I do think that linking sex with the animal holocaust and animal exploitation is so fucking bad and so gross and very dangerous because I remember like George Martin, Criticism Debunked, he did like a live stream with Claire Mann, a psychologist who was vegan and a vegan activist as well. And she talked about how dangerous it is to link those two things because there are people that genuinely, literally are zoophilic and stuff like that. So you don't want to encourage that link, and you do. It's trivializing as well. Like you don't want to go there. Okay. It is gross. Like it grosses me out too, but that's not really relevant, I guess. I think. Uh, okay. So Evanna Lynch, she's like, she was Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter series. My favorite character with Dumbledore. Um, but she's a vegan activist and she's the loveliest. But I don't agree with a lot of her messaging, unfortunately. But she's a sweetheart. But anyways, whatever. Killing and eating animals is a betrayal of our own core humanity. Whoa, so many problems that I think with this quote. So, and again, I'm not talking about the intent of any of these quotes. I really believe that every person who's sharing these quotes or saying these things have good intentions, of course. And I'm not saying that like in a patronizing way or whatever. It's just I really just want for us to be better at messaging, just so that and we need to discuss these things. It's okay if you don't agree with me. Just please tell me what you think, and we can think about it together. Because it's just important to perfect our messaging and have conversations about it because it's just too important. Like um, we can't just say anything and think it's good. Killing and okay, so again, like we're focusing on vegetarianism here. Um, and we don't want to do that. Um, is a betrayal of our own core humanity. And I think, who cares? Like, what if it wasn't the true what truth? What if it's like a human thing to do that, and it's like part of our core humanity? Like, who gives a shit? Like I don't like that it's focused on the oppressors living according to their values kind of thing. And I understand this is like a very I understand this is like a way that we do outreach. We're focusing on the oppressors, living to their according to their values because we're trying to make it work. I understand. So there is something with that maybe I'm wrong, maybe it works because you're trying to make people realize that, and so maybe it helps them change or whatever. I don't know, but I just think it's if you're looking at the quote, I think it's just dangerous and weird. I think you can show them that they're not living according to their values in another way by saying that this is slavery, for example, things like that, but not in this way. So I would put this. Uh, I really don't like this quote. I don't think you could save that because of hold on. I don't think you could save that. I'm so sorry I'm putting it in the same tier as this. It feels wrong, like that it shouldn't be put on the same level, but I don't think it can be saved. I just don't see how you could turn that into something else. Um I don't know, maybe it's in between. I'm just gonna put it here because I'm not sure. But I would not use that. I mean I wouldn't use any of these, but it's not as bad as that. Uh I don't think it's part of a core in the first place. I don't know, like I just don't know and I don't really care. Like I don't see yeah. Okay. What if I told you arguing against veganism is arguing for animal abuse? Okay. Okay, this one is powerful, but at the same time, like it's that's what I have a problem with animal abuse because it's kind of like subjective to people. Like abuse is like it means not using something right, something, and people see other animals as things to use. So I don't even go there anymore because I don't want to have this argument about like, oh, it's actually because you're not using them right, so you should use them right. We're just talking about like how using them is abuse, but they don't see it. So I would just not do that. I would just say it's for animal slavery or it's for um animal objectification, something like that. Because you can keep the shock value by saying animal slavery, for example. And I know not all animal exploitation is animal slavery, but a lot of it is. So, I don't know. Yeah, but maybe if you say for animal abuse and then you clarify what you're meaning, that could work. Um, so I'm gonna put it here. If slaughterhouses had glass walls, everyone would be a vegetarian. I remember when I was a teen and I was vegetarian. I started becoming vegetarian, and I was a Beatles fan. I was like, oh, I love that quote so much, um, God, and yeah, that's not. We're not vegetarians. We're not like just against the murdering of other animals for their flesh. We're also against their slavery and exploitation. So it doesn't work. And also it's about the treatment, so it doesn't work. So Uh, uh, well, of course, it's about vegetarianism, so it's get out of my house right now. It's not even a thought. Oh, I have two. Sometimes I have two quotes twice. I'm sorry. I tried not to do that, but sometimes it's kind of hard to remember which quotes you downloaded and stuff. So, and I didn't do that on the same day. Okay. If we could live happy and healthy lives without harming others, why wouldn't we? So, what if it doesn't make you happy to be vegan though? Because like it can be hard sometimes to be a vegan in our society. It doesn't matter at all. Hello, Hannah Christina. Hey, Lucy. Made it for a live stream today. Yay. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you, Hector, so much. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about these quotes. And if you want a guaranteed answer or guaranteed highlight, you can always do it super chat. And at the end, we'll talk about it more, or we'll also have questions or whatever it is you'd like to talk about. Cool. So if you could live happy, so yeah, what if you can't be happy? Like it doesn't freaking matter. You still have to do it because you can't just like, oh, it doesn't make me happy to be against the slavery of other animals. Who gives a shit? Like, whatever, like deal with it. It cannot be worse than what you're doing to them. It doesn't give you the right, anyways. And also, without I mean, I understand the sentiment. I really understand it. But without harming others, well, that's the problem as well with harm. It's kind of similar to abuse. It's like, well, what constitutes harm? Like, people might not, like, the oppressor might not think that having backyard hens is harming them, but I mean, it objectively it is, because you're literally like not letting them go. You're imprisoning them, like they're completely confined to your home, and you're using their bodies, you're commodifying them and stuff like that. And also there's also other harms that come from just taking them from farmers and stuff like that, whatever. And reinforcing the mentality that they are here to serve us, whatever. They're still your slaves, you're owning them as commodities. But either way, I wouldn't say harming. I would say without, if we could, like, you, I would just, because I've used that before. I would said, if we can, if we can do this, like, why not, and I usually, these days I word it, well, look, I'm vegan, you can be vegan, so why not, like, why aren't you doing this? Like, what the fuck? There are better ways to, yeah, there are better ways to say it that would be less dangerous, I think. So I would put it here. So a lot of quotes are here because I'm picky, but you have to be picky with stuff like that. It's too important. The messaging. Okay. Be kind to every kind. I do not like this one. Because it's not about kindness, it's about basic decency. Like, if you're saying to someone that veganism is like, it's a kind thing to do, it just sounds like you're saying it's optional. Like, it's like a virtuous thing to do. It's like, if you're doing that, it's like volunteering. It's kind. But like, no, it's just being decent. If you're not doing that, you're not decent. It's not okay. So, well, yeah, I don't like this. And to every kind is kind of, it's confusing, because like you could be meaning plants. I don't get it. Like, yeah, I don't. I mean, I get it. I just don't like it. Um, I'm gonna put it here. Sorry. I didn't. I mean, the thought, like the concept, I get it, but I don't like it. I just think it's. How could you make it better? Be decent to other animals. Like, I don't like it. Again, I don't think it is on the same level as those. Oh, especially not, this one is the worst here, I think. But I don't think it can be saved. Oh, there's the same thing here. Oh, sorry, that's gonna be repeated. So, I could never go vegan, said almost every vegan before going vegan. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one because it's true. I mean, could you believe that I, as an 11-year-old, I went vegetarian at like 13 and vegan at 14 or something like that. And at 11, I was literally making like jokes about vegetarians and how like sissy they were. Like, can you imagine me doing that? It gives me hope, because it's like, oh yeah, I was a jackass before, so I could never go vegan. Did almost every vegan before going vegan. I would. I mean, it's not like a super serious thing. So also, like, it's not like something that you have to change a whole lot to make good. Like, I would say, yeah, and result of the earth. It's not like the best thing I've ever heard, but like, whatever is, it's there's no problem with it, I think. Also took some of your guys's suggestions from Instagram, because I asked, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. I love that one a lot. But there can be a danger with that one as well. Um, Yeah, it's playing on that powerlessness because I mean, honestly, before I became an activist, I really did feel that like a lot. Like, like you feel like it's just not gonna do anything you do, and you scared it would make it worse. But then you realize, well, anything I do is something like there's always this potential that I would make just one vegan, whatever. So it's worth it because I mean, you have to do it anyways because of the animals. But yeah, it's their only hope. But like, yeah. But it's also kind of confusing because, like, if you can't change it, then it's not like, but it's just it's playing on the perception of it. I would just put it here. And guys, if you're confused about like who end result is, I explained it in the beginning. You can go back to that. Louis says harm could be said to be imposing or inflicting unjustified or non-consenting force upon a sentient individual. Yeah, but people don't really get like it's so subjective kind of. I mean, unfortunately, like people don't really get that super, I don't know. Well, um okay, I really really like this one. Eggs equals dairy, honey, meat, blah 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 blah. It's very good, very good. Um of course we're only talking about the secretions and bodies of the exported animals, but and it's not the only thing, but that doesn't matter. I don't think it's like claiming to be defining veganism or whatever. So I would say it's great. Making people understand that we're not vegetarians. We're like against all animal exploitation. Why doesn't this work? Okay. Dreaming of a world where doing the right thing isn't viewed as extreme and eating animals is. Okay, it started great, but then it went vegetarian. So you could fix that by making like uh enslaving other animals isn't seen as extreme. The greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Yes, if you mean they're not being commodified, but then it sounds super welfareist actually to most people. So I wouldn't use it, especially because you can't really change like a famous person's quote. Like you can't improve it. You can't really change that. But if you could just not say like Gandhi's quote and make it about like how this is about like they're not commodified and stuff, or like they're not enslaved, like it would work. So, but again, I wouldn't use this like that. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many quotes I put twice. Oh, and this. Oh yeah, you see, guys, this is all there is. I don't know if we can go through all the thing, but we'll see. Okay. Wow, I do think that I uploaded it twice or something. Oh my god. Okay. Hmm. Oh, this one is just. I'm a vegan. I respect the environment, and I do my best to spread the importance of such an issue. Jared Leto. Well, the problem is that like you could make it like I'm a vegan and I respect the environment, but like people hear that anyways, and then also what he said at the end, like it's to him it's the same issue when it's just really not. You could be, for example, eating insects and being like fine for the environment, but you would have even more victims. It would be even more horrific. So no, no. So I would just say heck no. Um Yeah, it's just about the exploitation of other animals, regardless of whether it's good for the environment, and you could potentially be fine for the environment with insects. It's just horrific. So, um, vegan because it's a powerful step we can take in making this world a more peaceful place. I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit like it sounds a little bit like an option. It's like it's a powerful step you can take. Like not like it doesn't frame it as a moral obligation. And I understand the peace because without slavery, well, it's peaceful, like it's peace because slavery is a form of war on someone. Okay, but people don't necessarily see that. They kind of see like if you're saying peaceful place, it's like there's no violence, but they would picture backyard hens and like taking their eggs and exporting their bodies as a peaceful thing. So I don't think it would work. I mean it's accurate, but there's it's just it's not gonna be received in the way that would be a vegan message. So could you fix that? I don't think you can fix it very well. You could rephrase it in a way that's like, how can you be peaceful if you're enslaving someone else? Something like that. But that would be an entirely different quote. So I'm just gonna put it here. I know it sounds harsh, but it's not gonna be received in the way that you think it's gonna be. You know, like an industry that is destroying the planet and kills billions of innocent animals every year is not one I want to support. Sure. I mean, they're not saying vegan, so I get it. And it's not a vegan quote. I mean, so in that sense, okay, but does that mean you don't care about other forms of animal exploitation? Like, s- so I'm just gonna put it here because I'm not sure. Wouldn't share these. Would share these. Um, if with these ones with a little tweaking. It takes nothing away from a human to be kind to an animal. Again, like why kind? Like it's not an option. It's not like oh you're volunteering and stuff. You're not being kind to an animal just by leaving them alone. You're not being kind to a child by not like human trafficking them or whatever. You know, like what the fuck? It's not about that. I don't like this. Um, and what if it takes away from you because in whatever in your social group it's harder to be vegan? Then what? You know? I mean, especially because like this is Joaquin Phoenix who's not even vegan because he's riding horses and stuff. Uh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think you can fix that. Um, yeah, I really like that. Whole food plant based for the environment and health, vegan for the victims. Yep, definitely. I love when I get those comments on my videos. Ask your city government to send the plant based to you. Yeah. I mean that's obviously not a vegan thing, but it's like definitely an ally to the vegan movement. Big one. I didn't ah no, is it not on? Did I not wait, hold on. Let me just check real quick. Wh- Oh, I think I know. Wait, I could take just a second to fix. Uh, uh-oh. Not AdSense, that's not what it is. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, I guess I have to verify myself again. Whatever, guys, sorry about that. I'll just try to see your comment. I'm sorry about that. No super chats today, apparently. There was a thing with my whatever. If you want to support me, though, there's a link in the description to buy me a coffee. This is the best platform for me, but it's basically like Patreon. It's just better, and there's like exclusive content there, and obviously it's like a monthly supporting of my activism, which is very helpful because that's my only job, and I'm trying to keep it as such. So that would be very helpful. So thank you so much. I have a husband. He's vegan. Yes. I could not be with someone who's not vegan. There's no way. I can't even have non-vegan friends. So no. Anyways, whatever. Where were we? But thanks for trying to give me a super chat. It's very sweet of you. I very much appreciate it. Okay. The greatest ethical test we are going to face is the treatment of those who are at our mercy. I love that quote, but it sounds welfarist to most people. So maybe you could fix that. Like, I mean, it's true, it's awesome, it's powerful, but like, is the treatment of those who are at mercy. Yeah, but like, why would you say like that? I wouldn't say treatment. I would say something else. I would say is whether we are going to take advantage of someone who is of those who are at our mercy. I think that would make it perfect. So I would just put it in the category of. Hmm, yeah, here. I hope you don't hear my stomach growls. I'm a little hungry, but I was a bit too lazy this morning to eat. Whatever. Okay. Uh, Vegan, an individual who has the crazy idea that animals shouldn't suffer. Hell no. I understand. I understand. I also believe that other animals should not suffer, of course. But if you're framing it like that, you make it sound like it's a welfarist cause, like cause it's about like how the humans exploited shouldn't suffer. Like that's how non-vegans hear it. Um, and yeah, I would not say it like that. I would say an individual who has the crazy idea that animals shouldn't be subordinated by humans or not subordinated, subjugated. Sorry, and enslaved, whatever, commodified. It should be free, things like that. I have like I shared this quote recently, like I think yesterday or today from like vegan FTA. It's like another version of this quote. It's like vegan, an individual who has the crazy idea or something like that that animals should be free, and that's perfect. Yes, so I would put it here because it's easily fixable. This is like it might as well be named easily fixable or fixable, and this one is not really. Okay, I want to do this one. This one is interesting. Holocaust survivor Alex Hershaft has been asked why he chose animal rights as his cause where there are victimized and undeserved groups of people. Quote, why animals? Because that's the root, the most universally accepted form of oppression. And it's not about the animals, it's about us. It's about who we are, how we treat the least defensible, the most oppressed, the weakest in our society. What does it say about us? End quote. Okay, I totally understand what he said there, but also, eh, and I mean, he's a vegan, okay? He's against the exploitation of other animals, but he's a new welfarist. And that means when you're a new welfarist, you believe that to get to animal liberation, you need to employ welfarist means. And I do not believe in that at all. I think it's actually hurting us and making us not able to get there faster. So, whatever, based on this quote only, I think it's super powerful, obviously. But yeah, like it's about the oppressor, not the victim. Like that the problem lies within the oppressor, not the victim. Uh yeah. He's not saying that they don't matter, that they're it's not like about the individual's uh rights, of course. So I would just say I think And also he says treat, which sounds welfarist. So I'm just gonna put it in needs more of that salt, but works. Because I don't know, like yeah, I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna put it problematic just because of the treatment thing, because it sounds welfarist, unfortunately. But it is powerful if you're putting it in a in a context that works. I don't even know if you guys can see these things. Oh yeah. Animal liberationists do not separate out the human animal, so there is no rational basis for saying that a human being has special rights. A rat is a pig, is a dog, is a bird. They're all mammals. Yeah, yes, but be careful because then it sounds intersectional to some people. I don't think he means the vegan movement is an intersectional movement that should focus on human rights. I don't think he's saying that here. He's just saying that we are all animals and they deserve as many rights, like the right not to be exploited, for fuck's sake, as much as humans do deserve that right not to be exploited. But he's not saying that the vegan movement should focus also on humans. Like the vegan movement is, I don't know what he believes. I don't care. Or Ingrid Newkirk. So she is not intersectional, I think. But like, I'm sorry, I said he. I don't know why. Whatever. But like, I I believe that it's like the vegan movement was made just for the animal victims because there was no other movement for them. We cannot we cannot just take the only representation they have and them being the most victimized, literally like the most victimized animals on earth, including humans here, and the least represented. We can't even go there. Like that's insanely human supremacist of us to think that we should give their only space to humans to like fuck that. That's messed up as hell. Anyways, that makes me very angry. That's what I mean by intersectionality, by the way, like using the movement for humans. So, yeah, but the problem is like, why mammals? Why are we talking about mammals here? Like, we're not talking about mammals. We're talking about animals and fish and stuff as well, and insects. So that's why I'm putting in problematic. But I do love the first part. Just the end, I don't like it because mammals. Why mammals? Okay. Hmm. To become vegan is not to subscribe to a belief system, it is to eradicate previously held, often dogmatic belief systems and to replace them with opinions and behaviors based on information that can be scientifically and morally substantiated. Okay. Uh, the opinions and beliefs, I mean, I don't know, like, yeah, sure. But like it's like a stance. It's like yeah, like it's I mean you could say that veganism is a belief in some sense. It's just the way that it's a stance, a philosophical stance, like a moral stance. But it can be scientifically and morally yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't really like it. It's kind of like I don't know. I'm just gonna put it here. Okay, so this is a quote from Mike FDA. Animals prefer to live their own lives for their own purposes, sorry, well, without exploitation. The only issue I have with that is prefer, and of course, like just saying animals instead of other animals. That's not the biggest deal, but like prefer, I wouldn't say prefer because it sounds a little bit like a preference is not like the right not to be used. It's kind of saying like a human prefers not to be enslaved, like or exploited. It's kind of a weak way of saying it. Like the word is weak. Prefer. I wouldn't say prefer. So I would put it here. Uh, Never, never be afraid to do what's right, especially if the well being of a person or animal is at stake. Society's punishments are small compared to the wounds we inflict on our soul when we look at the other way. Martin Luther King Jr. I hate the end of it. Okay, so never, never be afraid to do what's right. Absolutely perfect, especially if the well being of a person or animal is at stake. Okay, again, we don't want it to be framed as like the well-being, because like you could argue, yes, like if you're freaking restricted to go, you're not like your well-being is at stake. Okay, yeah, sure, but people are not seeing it, like they don't see it. So I would just say the freedom, if the not that doesn't work very well, I don't know, is if the especially if a person or an animal is being overpowered by a human, something like that, that could work. Society's punishments are small, sure, compared to the wounds we inflict, sure, on our soul. I get what he means, but I don't like it. It's so weird to focus on the oppressor's soul when you're talking about what they're doing to someone else. Like, it's very weird. I when we look the other way, yeah, I get it, but I would just reframe it to be like, no, when we inflict on them, when we look the other way, it's really what we're talking about here. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. No, what? No, not here. Oh yes, yes, problematic. Okay, problematic is the biggest thing we have. Respect animals and animal exploitation. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great from Mike FTA. Eh, wait. Um, okay. Being vegan isn't about restricting oneself in any way. It's simply about ceasing to take things that clearly are now not ours. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is restricting yourself in some way, but yeah, it's about ceasing to take things that are clearly not ours. I love that quote that's like, yeah, you don't lose anything when you become a vegan. You just stop taking what was never yours. I love that quote. This one, it's almost perfect to me. So I just don't like saying like being vegan isn't about restricting yourself, but it's about restricting yourself from taking what's not yours, because you're used to taking what's not yours, I guess. So where would I put it? I would put it here because again, I would put it here because it's kind of weird, like the restricting thing. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know. It's very much in between those two to me. Okay, Leo Tolstoy. A man can live and be healthy without killing animals for food. Therefore, if he eats meat, he participates in taking animal life merely for the sake of his appetite, and to act so is immoral. That's a vegetarian quote. Uh, so I mean, I don't think. I mean, you could fix it by making an entirely new quote. You can live and be healthy without exploiting other animals. Therefore, if you do so, you participate in their slavery for the sake of your pleasure or convenience, and to act so in you could fix it, but it would take a lot of. So I'm just gonna put it here. Um, okay, I don't think you can see that one. I can't zoom more than this. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna read it out anyways. Uh, Never again is not about what others shouldn't do to us, it's about what we shouldn't do to others. Never again means that we must never again perpetrate mass atrocities against other living beings, that we must never again raise animals for food or any other form of exploitation. Dr. Alex Hershaft, Warsaw Ghetto survivor. Yeah, it's such a powerful quote. I love that quote. So the only thing I would change, honestly, would be living beings. I would just say sentient beings because plants are living beings. And I wouldn't say never again raise animals because you could be hunting them and it's still exploitation. But honestly, it's like it's so so good. Let's see. Where are we? So it's in between those two. But I would change a few things. So I'm gonna put it here. Okay. Oh. Um. Oh God. Okay. Let me find the stuff. Okay. So this is the son of Martin Luther King. Apparently, they were vegan activists, which is crazy. Veganism has given me a higher level of awareness and spirituality, primarily, I guess, because the energy associated with eating has shifted to other areas. If you're violent to yourself by putting harmful things into your body that violate its spirit, it will be difficult not to perpetrate that violence into someone else. Okay, I mean, I don't like this. It's again focusing on you. Like, who cares? I mean, I get it. Like, it makes it more likely that you're gonna be violent to other beings, but who cares when you're already being violent? It's already what's really bad, you know? Like, I don't like it. It's focusing on the oppressor too much. I don't like it. Eh, okay, vegan because when you see what we do to animals, you can't help but no longer support it. Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. But also, like, I mean, I think it would be good to clarify in the description that you're talking about the exploitation of animals and like the slavery, using them as objects, stuff like that, not just the treatment. So I'm gonna put it in needs more of that salt that works. Spirituality. Yeah, the other day, guys, I had a horrible conversation with someone. It was like when was it? It was Thursday. Oh no, Friday. I'm starting a new like form of I mean for me it's the first time I've done this deep canvassing thing because I've been reading this book about persuasion and apparently it's the most like the thing that has been proven scientifically to be the most effective in changing someone's mind. And so I've been doing that and adapting it to veganism because it can't really be done fully without like adapting it and like having accountability at the end as well because it's a little different than what they usually use it for. Anyways, whatever. And that guy was spiritual and it was the worst. He was horrible. It was very like I thank them, they give their body to me. And he kept telling me, like I would learn and stuff. He was quite disrespectful and I did not like him and it was horrible to talk with him. Anyways, yeah. Spirituality is always like a red flag. um, when you talk to someone, unfortunately. It shouldn't be like it should be like that these people are actually easier to talk to because they see the interconnectedness of everything or something. And I mean, I used to be spiritual and vegan. So I mean, but also the spiritual people tend to be not all of them are, of course, but like they tend to be quite flaky with justice. So it's kind of like do what you feel like, no matter the consequences, kind of mentality. Okay. Oh, okay. Fish. We never talk about fish, guys. We have to talk more about fish. They're the most exploited animals by humans on Earth. So trillions compared to other animals when it's billions. So we really have to talk about them more. Fish, the most forgotten victims. The stress that fish experience when they are pulled from the water into an environment in which they cannot breathe is exactly the same as a person drowning. Dr. Colin Brown, Macquarie University. Again, it's focusing on kind of the treatment, but it's like just talking about their experience as victims as well. So I'm just gonna put it And it's so important that people understand that fish are individuals that feel pain and stuff like that, and emotions, I believe, as well. I mean, how the hell are you gonna escape a situation as an animal if you don't feel fear? I'm sorry, but that's the thing, you know? Imagine being a prisoner on death row for committing no crime, just being you. Welcome to the nightmare world of animals bred for food. I would say animals enslaved for food. But yeah, yeah, it's good. Um, I mean, it's not like a vegetarian message as much. It's just talking about this type of exploitation, so I would just put it, I guess I would put problematic. Oh my god, my computer's starting to be slow because of all this. Maybe I don't know. As Louis says, the most unproductive discussions I've had are with people who use spirituality and faith-based notions. Yeah, me too. Me too. Actually, for me, it has definitely been New Age people, which is interesting because I used to be a New Age person. The irony, but like, yeah, absolutely horrendous, horrendous conversations. Like the worst people I've talked to about veganism are these people, like so selfish, insanely selfish. Of course, I'm not talking about all of them. There are plenty of people that are spiritual and vegan, but damn, they tend to be selfish and horrible people, unfortunately. Removed from reality as well, but you know, some of them. Okay, I refuse to eat animals because I cannot nourish myself by the sufferings and by the death of other creatures. I refuse to do so because I suffered so painfully myself that I can feel the pains of others by recalling my own sufferings. Edgar Kapfer Kaberwitz, Dachau concentration camp survivor. I think that's a French, maybe camp. I'm not sure. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh, so it's a vegetarian quote, unfortunately. It's powerful. It's really powerful because the human Holocaust survivor and comparing, like, I mean, this situation is comparable to the animal Holocaust. So it's powerful in that sense, but unfortunately, it's very much on, you know, the vegetarian message and also the treatment, but it's not like it's not like Paul McCartney's quote, because it's like from a victim, so it's more powerful. And I don't know. I would just put it in problematic, unfortunately. Oh, God. This one, I remembered that it was so bad. Okay, so Brian May, like, musician, I think he's in Queen. Okay, for me to go vegan was just a decision, and I haven't been preachy about it. But now we've seen more of the effects of how eating animals has brought us to our knees as a species. I think it's time to re-examine our world in a way that doesn't abuse other species. Okay, so like again, like so that's really, really vegetarian the way he said it. And also, what the fuck are you talking about? Being preachy about it? Oh, you mean trying to convince people not to actually do this to them? That's preachy. That's so pick me, super pick me. Anyways, it's disgusting to say that. It's really disgusting. Siding with the oppressor to be liked. Anyways, yeah, and also, what the hell? Like, we're not. I hate this quote so much. It's like focusing on the effects of our oppression of them, like the effects on us. Are you kidding me right now? Can we be more selfish here? It makes me mad. I don't like it at all. I hate it. And also the abuse of the species. Yeah, okay. Live in a world that doesn't abuse us, other species. Sure, fair enough. But because of what you said earlier, I'm just no. Fuck. I don't like this quote. Um. Okay. Okay, so the time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men. Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, I've heard some people say that it's not from him, this, so I'm not even sure that it's his quote, but I don't doubt that that's true, but the thing is, like, we're not talking about the murder because, like, again, like, we are like, for example, as a vegan, I walk places and I buy places and I avoid walking on insects, but sometimes it happens. Isn't that murder from the victim's point of view? I mean, I guess it's like accidental, but like, and for example, I have mites in my home, like flower mites. I need to freaking kill them to live, man. Like, I can't live like this, like they're infested. So I have to, like, it's murder. It's murder. It is. I don't know if they're sentient, but I can't imagine, like, a being that moves not being sentient. It's very hard for me to understand that concept, but anyhow, whatever. So I don't like this quote, even if it is powerful, because I get it, but I would just say it's problematic. Most of these quotes are just to me problematic. uh, but most of them could be fixed, like they could be made in a way that works. Murder, yeah, Louis says murder is not the same as killing. Yeah, but sure. Yeah, but like, again, like, if I'm killing mites, like I'm murdering mites for my own, like, home not to be infested and I don't get allergies and shit, like, so murder is unjustified killing. Okay, but is it justified? Because it's kind of for my convenience. So I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I wouldn't kill them if I didn't feel like I mean, I don't like doing this, but like I wipe my stuff down because, yeah, I guess I would get allergies, so that would be problematic. I don't know, whatever. It's not what veganism is about. So I don't want to, it's like, it's not exploitation, it's only a part of it. But, anyways, whatever. I just think we need to think about this one because I'm not sure about it. I don't know. I try to stay away from the murder thing because of that. I don't know. I don't know. And also pesticides, but again, like, it's justified, I guess, because we need to eat. But I mean, it's kind of subjective as well. Like, whatever. I don't know. My only regret about going vegan is not doing it sooner. Same here. Very, very good quote. I don't think there's anything wrong with that quote. As I became more familiar with animal farming and slaughter operations, I noted more striking similarities between what the Nazis did to us and what we are doing to animals. Alex Hershaft, Holocaust Survivor. That's so powerful, man. Like, it's so powerful. Uh, it's not welfarist. I don't think so. It doesn't sound welfarist. I think it's great. You should have to be careful though, maybe, because it sounds a little bit welfarist, because maybe it's like the way we're doing it, but I just don't think it's like, because he's talking about the form of operation, but the way he worded it in the beginning is weird, because it's like, when I became familiar with like the way they were farmed, or like basically enslaved and murdered, but like, I think it's just powerful enough that you don't feel like it's I don't know. I just think it's so powerful. I don't know. Again, this is my opinion. Yeah. I mean, they're not mice, they're mites. Mites. But not mice, Louis. They're not mice. They're mites. Like the tiny, tiny flower mites that get in that come from flour and stuff. It's terrible. The infestation's been months and months. We're trying to. But it's like, I'm not going to like seek them. I'm not seeking them and going like to the source, and but I'm wiping down some stuff, because otherwise it's just like, man, like, it's just, I don't want to have them on my face and shit. Like, come on, it's just not livable. So it's kind of I don't know what to do about the situation, but I don't think it's wrong to go to the source and take them out, because they're like infesting your home. Like, at some point you got to defend your freaking home from like allergy causing stuff and whatever. But it's not the same as other insects, where like I just leave all the insects in my home alone, of course, because they're no threat to me. Apart from like one time there were like a bag of moths in my like baby moths, and they were everywhere and stuff, and I was like, we need to put them outside. And it was in a way that killed them because it was snowing and stuff. Or otherwise I leave them alone or I put them outside without them being hurt. So this is like a vegan power lab. This is, let me show you. It's tier ranking. You can make your own stuff. I made this little thing, tier maker. It's free. You can make your own template. And if you guys want to use that one in particular, just shoot me a message. I'll send it to you. Yeah. Anyhow. If you think that being vegan is difficult, imagine being a factory farmed animal. Hell, I hate that quote. Yeah, okay, sure. It is horrible. It's horrible in a horrible type of slavery, of course. But like, why did you have to say factory farmed animal? Why can't you say like an animal slave? Or I understand why they did that, because most people are like, I'm against it, when they're really not, because they literally support it and eat the flesh of the individuals that come from there. But okay, but like I don't like it. It's welfarist. It's just welfarist messaging. So you could fix it though. So I really truly hate that quote. I hate it because it's welfarist as hell, but it's easily fixable. So I would just say here, because you could just not say factory farmed animal. You could say an enslaved animal. Being vegan is like trying to rescue drowning animals, desperately pulling them out of the water one by one and having your family, friends, and everyone around you throwing them back in. Yes, it is. But guys, be careful though. When okay, I have a thing with these quotes about how hard it is to be vegan and stuff. Like, I understand, like, yes, like you're trying to communicate how they are being horrible to other animals and how we're perceiving it, and that it's not hard to be vegan like practicality wise. It's just literally like knowing that there's a holocaust going on and stuff like that. But I forgot my train of thought. Oh. Yeah, but you don't want people to like encounter too many of those quotes, because you don't want them to think being vegan is too hard or something. Like you don't want them thinking it's hard before they get the point of why they have to do it. So I don't like sharing them. But it is accurate as hell. And maybe it might, like it might, I don't know. I think it may be problematic sometimes, because you don't want people thinking it's hard, but also no, I think it's this tier. Yeah. Vegan Parlab says, Lucy, I'm happy to hear that you're going to post full conversations again. You're great at them. Thank you. Well, it's also like it's gonna take a little bit of time, maybe, because no, actually, I'm editing one. I've started editing one like this week. That is not a deep canvassing one. So the ones that you're gonna see for a little bit are the ones that I've had before I changed my method. It's not that I think my past method is bad at all. I really like it. It's just that I don't think it's as efficient as what I'm trying to do right now, because of the research behind the deep canvassing effectiveness. So, but like the deep canvassing, I'm not gonna post like full outreach conversations until I feel comfortable with them, because I just feel like, for example, the first conversation I had with deep canvassing was not accountable. Like, I wasn't holding her accountable enough. No shit. Like, I tried a new method that I don't really know how to adapt to vegan message. Of course, didn't go very well. I mean, it went well, but I don't think I held her accountable enough. But then the second conversation, I think, went really, really well. But I couldn't film it because they filmed it with their iPhone, but they didn't let me film them myself. But at the end, they were like praising me, which is not necessarily a good thing to get from an outreach conversation from the other person. Because if they're like so, I don't know, maybe too comfortable. I don't know, maybe, but I think I found my groove because at the end I did hold him accountable, but it's at the end of it. So I'm trying things out until and I will show you when I feel comfortable with actually it being copied, maybe, or it being you being inspired from doing something similar, because I don't want to share something that I don't know if it's got big issues with, you know. Yeah, it's not about being perfect, you're right, vegan parallel, but I don't want people to no, but it could be really bad. That's the problem. Like I don't want it to be like I mean, if I'm not holding them accountable and I'm too soft on them, I think that's a grave mistake because I don't want people to do that too, and I don't want people to like don't not feel like they have to go vegan. You know, like that could be a very big mistake. But yeah, I agree definitely. Um, Totally. I could and yeah, you're right. I could, mention it in the video for sure. I could, like, dissect what I did wrong and stuff, but I do think that soon enough, like, very soon, I'll be able to post a conversation where I feel really like I can actually proudly show that, you know? Thank you. Yeah, I don't think it was bad to just think that it's it's just because of the book I read, like, this book, How Minds Change, like, the book club book I finished really fast because I really wanted to know what they think is the most effective method of persuasion, and, apparently it's deep canvassing for our cause, so that's why I just wanna do that. But thank you so much, guys, for the support, very much appreciate it. Okay. And also thank you for all the critiques that you have because that helps just as much. Okay. Okay, this one is interesting. Well, because it's a good segue because of what I'm talking about. Always be the vegan that you would have wanted to meet before you were vegan yourself. Okay. So of course this is freaking perfect. Like and no, I actually confused that quote with the be the vegan that the animals would want you to be because that one is perfect, of course. But be the vegan you would have all wanted to meet before you were vegan yourself is very different actually than what I was just thinking that that was because you don't want don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because you might not have wanted to become vegan back then. Like what the hell, you know? Like no, you want to be the vegan that the animals want you to be, meaning like the most effective vegan activist you can be. and and that's the point. Okay, with the deep canvassing it can seem like you're going too easy on them, and that's a very fair critique. But the thing is it's been proven for other causes, which of course there's differences between this cause and other causes, of course I know, but like it has been shown like the psychology of it, how it works, it's more effective than other forms of persuasions. So you have to just remember that it's just it's not about like I don't care if shouting is the most effective way to turn someone vegan, I do that. I don't care which method I use as long as there's like evidence showing that it's working as like research. Um so it's not like I don't want like I don't care about like having the person like me. It's not about that. It's just that you in deep canvassing, I don't know why I'm going into that because I'm gonna go into that when I'm talking like when during the book club. But I just think that with deep canvassing, you have to at the end insert accountability because you have been so open to that perspective. But they have to get that you know this is heavy. Anyways, whatever. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Uh, I think these are things I already did because. Oh god. I'm vegan, though not completely religious about it. While writing Sapiens, I became familiar with how we treat animals in the meat and dairy industries. I was so horrified that I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Okay. What do you mean? They're not completely religious about it. What do you mean? Eat honey and shit? Like, what the fuck does that mean? That's really, really weird sentence. I do not like it. It sounds like someone who's a flexitarian and who's not actually against exploitation of other animals by humans. So I think that's a horrible quote. And also, yeah, okay. She gives the examples of, or he, whatever, of how they became acquainted with the treatment of animals. But again, it's very welfarist, and I just fuck no. So I will just put it here, which is get out of my house right now. um, no, you're either against the exploitation of animals or you're not. Auschwitz begins whenever someone looks at a slaughterhouse and thinks they are only animals. I love that a lot. I think it's perfect because yes, it is vegetarian, but it's not about that. They're like it's not. It's just about the comparison, I think. And yes, it is vegetarian, but in that case, I don't think it's the biggest deal because it's a specific. I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't think there's a problem with that one. So I'm gonna put it here. The question isn't can this reason nor can they talk, but can they suffer general benefit? Okay, so this one is particular because it's like we're talking about this the sentience. That's what matters here, the sentience. But like it's not even about can they suffer, it's like can they perceive like I mean I guess sentience is different things. It's like self-awareness, it's being rational, I guess, and it's not rational again, but like it's like having thoughts, emotions, the ability to feel pain, joy, stuff like that. So the only problem I have with it is just that it's a little bit like it could be interpreted as a welfarist message, but it's not really. So it's not really the fault of the quote. So I'm just gonna put it need more salt here. Okay, there were quotes that I really wanted to read, and I think okay, these two quotes I remember were good or something. So, what do they know, all these scholars, all these philosophers, all the leaders of the world, about such as you? They have convinced themselves that man, the worst transgressor of all the species, is the crown of creation. All other creatures were created merely to provide him with food, pelts, to be tormented, exterminated. In relation to them, all people are Nazis. For the animals, it is an eternal Treblinka. Isaac Bashevis Singer, who was like I think he is a survivor. Yes, I believe he is a survivor of the Holocaust. This quote is so incredible. I mean, honestly, the only problem I guess I would have was would be creatures, but I think he corrected that by saying for the animals it is an eternal Treblinka. I think this is perfect. I love it. This is such a powerful quote. So it is end result of the Earth level. And this one was humans who enslave, castrate, experiment on, and fillet other animals have had an understandable penchant for pretending animals do not feel pain. A sharp distinction between humans and animals is essential if we are to bend them to our will, make them work for us, wear them, eat them, without any disquieting tinges of guilt or regret. It is unseemly of us, who often behave so unfeelingly toward other animals, to contend that only humans can suffer. The behavior of other animals renders such pretensions specious. They are just too much like us. Carl Sagan. This is so awesome. I love it. I mean, I freaking love it. I just love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. Come on. These are it just makes me so happy when you find a really good quote, it's just so satisfying. I'm so happy. So perfect. I have good memory when it comes to these two quotes. They were very good. So powerful. All right. Oh man, I want to find more of these great quotes. It's also like, guys, like, just share those as well. If you find a quote that you really like, I mean, I'll put the link to this tier maker thing. Hold on, let me actually just copy real. No, I can't do it right now, but I'll do it after. I'll put the link to this tier maker ranking thing so that you can access the quotes if you'd like to share those. Oh my god, it's very sorry, you can't read that one because it's too small, but whatever, I can read it myself. Ask the experimenters why they experiment on animals, and the answer is because the animals are like us. Ask the experimenters why it is morally okay to experiment on animals, and the answer is because the animals are not like us. Animal experimentation rests on a logical contradiction. Charles R. Major. Yeah, yeah, I really like this one. I mean, um, yeah, this one I would just put. Um, and I think it's great. Being vegan, why did it go up like this? Hold on. Where the fuck is it? I actually don't know where it is. Oh, there we go. Right here. Being vegan is easy. Are there social pressures that encourage you to continue to eat, wear, and use animal products? Of course, they are, but in a patriarchal, racist, homophobic, and ableist society, there are social pressures to participate and engage in racism, homophobia, and ableism. At some point, you have to decide who you are and what matters morally to you. And once you decide that you regard victimizing vulnerable non humans is not morally acceptable, it is easy to go and stay vegan. I think that's really great. I think it's perfect. The only thing I would change is like not saying use animal products, I would say use animals. Because it's not only when it comes to like in the supermarket buying stuff that you actually um use other animals. You might use them by riding them and stuff. Like breeding them, whatever. So I would say it's Henry Salt of the Earth because it's not bad enough for the thing that I think it's a problem. So mm, let me clarify. I am not a vegan because I love animals. Rather, veganism is about justice. It is not a lifestyle choice. It is not a personal preference. Veganism is not about you or me at all. It is about the fundamental right of non humans not to be used, owned, labeled, branded, enslaved, exploited, and generally commodified to serve our interests and convenience. Carrie Weiler. Absolutely fire. I love it so much. So it is absolutely in the best tier, of course. I'm trying to remember the quotes that I really wanted to read and rank because they were really cool and I wanted to share them. Oh, this one, definitely this one. These are the biomedical research laboratories, factory farms, and slaughterhouses, faceless compounds where society conducts its dirty business of abusing and killing innocent feeling beings. These are our Dachos, our Buchenwalds, our Birkenaus. Alex Urshaft, Holocaust survivor. Yeah, again, I guess. Why did he say just I mean, yeah, he's comparing basically like the most comparable forms of animal exploitation to the human Holocaust. So I get it, but also why I don't know. I'm gonna put it because it's comparing such a specific type of animal exploitation, which is sometimes extremely powerful, and especially from a victim of a similar crime. I'm gonna put it here. Oh, we are running out. Hold on. Of quotes. I mean, we obviously aren't going to do all of them, guys. It's not gonna happen. um, a bunch of them already did. We have enslaved the rest of animal creation and have treated our distant cousins in fur and feathers so badly that beyond doubt, if they were able to formulate a religion, they would depict the devil in human form. William Ralph Hinge. Yeah. Yes, I think that's perfect. Because he's not talking just about the treatment, he's talking about the enslaving, subordination, not subjugation. I confuse these two words, but not the same. Yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to find the really, really good quotes that I did not want to miss. Animals pay a dear price simply for being born into a world where humans see them as property. These beings are not resources, they are living, breathing, hurting members of our global family. Anthony Damiano. Perfect. The world, we are told, was made especially for man, a presumption not supported by all the facts. Why should man value himself as more than a small part of one great unit of creation? Yeah, totally agree. I think that's great. Especially when you're talking about animals, though. I'm gonna put it here just because, like, I wouldn't want people to confuse, like, plants and animals when it comes to that, because it's not the same thing. But yes. Animals like us are living souls. They are not things, they are not objects, neither are they human, yet they mourn, they love, they dance, they suffer, they know the peaks and chasms of being. I can't read his name, I'm so sorry, but it's kind of blurry, so. Yeah, I think that's great. The only thing I would change would just be our sentient living beings or sentient beings, not living souls, because plants are living as well. So I would just say that's like not the worst thing, and I would say it's not that important in this case, and put it in the best tier. I feel like I'm on a game show or something, like I'm just a host or something. One day, the absurdity of the almost universal human belief in the slavery of other animals will be palpable. We shall then have discovered our soul and become worthier of sharing this planet with them. Martin Luther King Jr. This quote is beautiful. I love it. It's perfect. It's so gorgeous. Now that's how you make a quote. Oh my, I'm sorry, my computer is extremely laggy, or it's the website. I don't know what it is, but either way, sorry about that. See why I don't want to miss some of those? Okay. Until we have the courage to recognize cruelty for what it is, whether its victim is human or animal, we cannot expect things to be much better in this world. We cannot have peace among men whose hearts delight in killing any living creature. By every act that glorifies or even tolerates such moronic delight in killing, we set back the progress of humanity. Rachel Carson. It's almost, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, like, I get it, like, it's powerful, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've already explained many reasons of why I'm going to put it in the tier I'm going to put it in, so I don't think I need to repeat myself. I'm just going to put it in that thing. If my computer charges, come on. So I'm going to put it here because you could fix it. I really love that quote. You can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. James D. Miles. Yep. But we're not talking like you again, like you would have to make sure that you're not talking about the treatment of the slave. You're just you're not going to be, I don't know, like you who can do nothing for him. Does that apply to the animals we exploit? I guess not. So it can be confusing as well. But I just feel like who can do nothing for him. I guess it's not related to veganism as much, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I just there's something about it that I like. I guess I interpret it as like those who are vulnerable to him that can't really like, but I guess we would be talking about wild animal species there. But I do think it's a good quote. Hold on, I can't see anything. I do think it's a good quote. It's a bit confusing though because what is going on? I'll put it here. Okay. We must be clear about the difference between the reason for veganism, animals, and the benefits of veganism, health, environmental, spiritual, etc. It is only by being clear about what veganism is and isn't that we can hope to achieve justice for animals. Whyveganism.com. Absolutely perfect. Love it. Absolutely love it. Love it. Awesome. No problem with that one. I think it's great. Very powerful. Veganism is not about giving anything up or losing anything. It is about gaining the peace within yourself that comes from embracing nonviolence and refusing to participate in the exploitation of the vulnerable. Gary Francione. I don't like it that much. You could have been great, but you made it about yourself. I mean, you know what I mean. Like, sure, but why is it worded like that? Um, uh, and also it's not violence necessarily because, like, yeah, a lot of animal exploitation entails violence, but what about the other forms that don't? I'm gonna put it in problematic because you could fix it. There was something I wanted to. Okay, this one's interesting. Animal liberation is also human liberation. Animal liberationists care about the quality of life for all. We recognize our kinship with all feeling beings. We identify with the powerless and the vulnerable, the victims, all those dominated, oppressed, and exploited. And it is the non human animals whose suffering is the most intense, widespread, expanding, systemic, and socially sanctioned of all. Henry Spira. Okay, I like all of it apart from the first sentence. Animal liberation is also human liberation. I, d- I, but I understand if he means like it's connected and it's very, very similar because it is. Like, we all should have the same right not to be exploited and stuff, but don't make it intersectional. That's my only thing. Um, but also it's not about suffering, so I would put it in problematic because it can be fixed. Bringing animals into the world only to kill them is not part of the cycle of nature. We artificially inseminate animals, kill them years before their lifespan is up, then justify it as natural, comparing ourselves to other animals who kill to survive. Last time I looked, lions weren't breeding gazelles. Colleen Patrick Goodrow, of course it's her. She's a French. I don't know if she's vegan. I mean, she has to be, I guess. Joyfulvegan.com. I don't like her stuff, and I don't like this quote because it's not really the point at all. Who cares? Like, I mean, it's an appeal to nature fallacy anyways, but like you're talking about the treatment and you're talking about like specifically breeding. So that does that mean that hunting an animal is okay? Like, what? No, I don't like this at all. I do not like this at all. We're not looking up to lions for our um behavior. That's messed up anyways. So I'm just gonna get out of my house right now. Because I am a civil rights activist, I am also an animal rights activist. Animals and humans suffer and die alike. Violence causes the same pain, the same spilling of blood, the same stench of death, the same arrogant, cruel, and vicious taking of life. We shouldn't be a part of it. Dick Gregory. I really like it. And it's always very, very powerful when someone who's doing like, who is an activist for a cause that is widely accepted as important and amazing by humans. It's very important. Like it's very powerful when they actually make the comparison to the animal situation. So I just yeah. The only thing is like okay, sure. She's focusing on a specific type of exploitation, which is the violence and the murder. I understand. It's great. But I would reframe it a little bit more towards like the slavery aspect in exploitation. Uh, but yeah, so it's fixable. But okay, hold on. I can't see anything I'm doing because I'm too. Okay, so I'll put it here. It needs more of that salt, but works because it's not problematic. Sorry, it's not problematic so much. I guess. I'm so sorry. My computer doesn't like this website. It's like literally just going without me putting it. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. Albert Einstein. I don't like that quote. Like, you could have made the point better. I don't like it at all. I like to free ourselves from an oppressive mentality. Okay, I understand, but also it's kind of framing it like it's for the benefit that it would give us. And also it's not about compassion, it's about just leaving them alone and decency. So yeah, I understand how it can be seen as being about compassion. I get it. And also it's not about living creatures, it's about sentient creatures. It's very different. And the whole of nature and its beauty, I mean, sorry, but nature is not beautiful. Nature is freaking horrible. But like it's beautiful too in some ways, but it's just like I don't like this thing of like nature good and whatever. I I'm gonna say problematic. Vegan because peace starts with how we treat the most vulnerable. I like that. The only thing is just I hate the word treat because people just think welfare stuff, you know. So I'm just gonna say and also peace. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say there. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything I really wanted to show you. Come on. I'm not controlling this like my computer is. Yeah, okay. Well, I think I have shown you guys everything I really wanted to show you because this is literally repeated, like stuff that I've already sorted, but and some stuff that I don't really care too much about talking about. It's becoming a long live anyways. But yeah, this is basically my ranking. Um, oh my god, it doesn't fit. So yeah, there we go. So now we can move on to if you have any questions or anything you'd like to tell me, now is the time to discuss these things. Let me know what you thought about my ranking and about these quotes, and if you've learned anything or whatever. If you'd like to tell me anything you disagree with, that would be the time to do it. I thought that was really fun and interesting to go through those. Uh, yeah. So while you see if you have anything you'd like to tell me, I will tell you about. So of course, like my outreach videos are gonna come soon. I think I'm planning on doing 2 a month or something around that. Um, and yes, so if you'd like to help me out financially, you can always go to buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description of all my videos, and this one included. Buy me coffee is better for me than Patreon, but Patreon is great too if you would like to support me there. It's the same thing in both, same stuff. There's exclusive content, and this is my full time job, really. So that would really help me out. So that I never have to take an actual job. That's not about this. Anyways, and I want to thank my patrons and the people like Patreon members and also my Buy Me a Coffee members. So thank you, Nick, Hannah, Backel, Mike, Ian, Zen, and Oliver. Thank you so much for your support. Very much appreciate it. And yeah, and I think we should always keep obviously learning as activists is very important. Just so we can be as efficient as possible. Um Yeah, so guys, if there's nothing you'd like to let me know or whatever, please like and subscribe. That would help push my content to more people and vegan message to more people. So that would be very much appreciated. Please be vegan if you're not, obviously. Veganism being the stance against the use of other animals by humans for their benefit. And be active in any sort of activism you'd like to do or any capacity you can. We're the only hope. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get off then. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.